Bit of a late start this morning. The day job and the need for money has kind of got in the way. So it's 11 o'clock now, and I'm just leaving the office to go to the office workshop. I don't know if I showed that yesterday, but that's the rear beam. That got delivered yesterday. And they are the trailing arms and the brake back plates. So that's all good, that's nice. What we got, Robin and Tim and I forget the other guy's name, commented on me on the knuckles. Who was that? Peter, right, anyway, they're called knuckles. Well, I managed to get the hubs off anyway. There's a story here. Don't trust anybody else. So what I did is I grabbed the knuckles off the old Sierra. I could see which is a left hand and a right hand thread. Well, now I've got a helicopter coming. The noise, it's that quiet, there's no like background noise, so you hear everything. So we've just had a pickup truck come down our street selling fruit, and he's got a 300,000 decibel speaker on the top of his roof, so he can penetrate into all the old deaf people's houses. So you can't compete with it, you just can't talk over it, it's just deafening. Anyway, right, I was talking about knuckles, and knuckles, don't trust anybody, because, right, I got the Sapphire knuckles, looked at them, worked out, right, this one's a left hand thread, that one's a right hand thread, set the old rattle gun, as you should, to rattle them off, no problem. Use the same logic, and it wasn't logic, it actually went against my logic, because on this car the rear left trailing arm drive shaft was left hand thread, the right hand side was right hand thread, which is the same as my Transit. When I got to the front, it appeared from the Sapphire that the front hub was left hand, the front right hand hub was left hand, the left hand hub was right hand. So I went to the silver car with that logic in mind. Now, the silver car was correct, the Sapphire was wrong. I was following the wrong pattern. So as soon as I realised that, they came off. Anyway, that's enough of that. Right. Last night after doing the video, we snuck back in here and did a bit more on the doors. Why can't I get that open now? Whoops. That should open. There we go. Right, so we put the door locks in and did a rough alignment. I think the door cap's okay, the height is okay, but it's actually sitting a little too far back. So there's a gap there, so the striker needs to come forward a little bit. So I'm going to do that now. And then once I've set the back door, I will set the front door with it. This also has the locks in it. But I'm a little bit worried because this seems to be a bit of a mess here. It seems to be very proud. Not as in I'm a Sierra proud, but as in sticking out. So let me get the door aligned first, and then I'll work out how to deal with this. I'm going to probably got far too much filler in it. I hope I've got far too much filler in it. And again, maybe the straight edge will, well, I've got to work out which way the panel goes. I think it's, I'll have to look at the other side and compare it. But this might slow me down. The original plan was to paint the car tomorrow, but to be able to do that, I've got to get the other two doors fitted and aligned. Now the problem is I'm on my own until about 4 p.m. For the other doors I'm going to get hung by myself. I'm going to play with the alignment on these, and once I've got these to where I'm happy with, I'll work on that. Well, that's probably a day's work anyway. That probably is. So we'll see how things pan out. Catch you in a bit. So what I do with the strikers here is tend to sort of try and mark the position of them with tape, because once you've loosened them and you're all just on a white background, you've got no idea where they're going. And these strikers are really weird because the threads are tight all the way in and out. You've got to like really crank it with the Torx key, like proper tight, all the way in and all the way out. So then you got to hold them with a mole grip. Otherwise, they're just flailing around when you turn the key. So they're a right pain. I don't know if anybody else has experienced this, but anyway, I'm just about to pull this tape off, remark it, and I'm going to pull that forward a tiny bit. I want to keep it at this height and keep it at this angle, and then just drop it forward. Maybe just, well, it's not much at all. And I've got this card behind there, stuff behind there as well, because when that does rock, I don't want to, Jesus, I don't want to be wrecking the paint. So according to the straight edge of my paint mixer, that's not too bad. Right, I'm happy with that. So you can see here now that the door gap here tapers down, which means you've got to swing, because these are not doors that you can move in and out on, certainly not against the hinges. You can only go forward and back, you can twist, and that's probably about it. Up, down, forward, back and twist. You can't come in and out. So what I've got to do now is probably, I don't know, because that gap there looks reasonable. Is probably twist the door, like see the camera go that way. I just crack the nuts off a little bit, and hopefully I can do that on my own. Alright, it seems I've got the height about right, the gap parallel, this, that and the other. So I've just put the striker back on, and it's closing without binding, but it's hitting too far out, so I need to adjust it inwards. I'm definitely going to have to build this edge up to get this gap back. You can see it's hidden. I'm afraid this is going to be a job for kitty hair. Just hope to God I can take this edge out of it. Okay, so the door has to go in further, which will bring that bit of the door out. So I'm not going to do anything until I'm happy with the gap of the door all the way around, and then we'll work to that. This is much better, but there's still a bit of room for improvement. The door still needs to go back just a little bit. You can get that gap down there. Can't really put the camera there. Yeah. All right, I think I'm happy with the gap now. Door frame sticking out a tiny bit there. I think that's a case of actually physically tweaking the frames. These line up, might just be a tad high. I'll have a look at that once more, but I've certainly got to pay attention to this now. Yeah, that step is massive, so I'm going to protect this and get the 80 out, see how far back that goes. This is filler I put in. I bulked out all the old filler. Never really looked at the old door to see if there's anything in there, but I think there was. sure there was. What I've probably done, yeah, it's giving me a, a big problem. I'll rub down pretty much the metal. There's no more filler. Take that step out. Yeah, you can see that step there. It's a couple of mil. Good like that on. You put it on like that, it's exaggerated. You slide the ruler up. This particular ruler is quite thick. Oh bloody hell! I've got another one of them trucks coming. Here you go. He's selling brushes, brooms, yard sweeping, witches. Halloween's over, for God's sake. You do annoy me. Right. Do you know what I'm thinking of doing? I'm thinking of putting a block of wood up in here and a dead blow hammer and just seeing if I can shift that, because there's movement here. It's a bit hard there. I just wonder, big surface area there, dead blow hammer, and just gradually increasing the hits just to see if it can move back. There's no way I'm putting filler in at all. Wood, dead blow hammer, and an improvement. It is maybe moving things around here a bit, but it's brought that back about half the distance. Look, the ruler on sky hooks. Oh, it's taped. Not very well. It stops, it's just this area here. There is, as I say, it sort of bulges out a bit there. This is actually proud all the way around, which is a little bit of a worry. But it may, well, through to metal there, so no. This is not my proudest moment. I've got the gap okay. I've got the height okay. A little bit of a hit there. There's a bit of a hit all around there, which I can't seem to get down. But I've done it by less than pleasant methods. Just knocking down low spots and denting things in and whatever. So now it's time for the filler. I mean the door gap's okay, it's not going to look ridiculous, but I'm a bit concerned that that may be a bit wavy in the panel there. It's a bit crooked. Wish I'd realised it was as bad as it was earlier. But these welded wings, you know, would have just eaten time. I've got the option in the future maybe to change the wing, put the one off the silver car on it. These are the original wings of the car. It's always a shame to change them, but yeah, we'll see what it's like when I filled it. Please forgive me my sins. It's not very often I do them, but it's a proper one here. Right, I don't know whether to time lapse it or not. I'm just going to get the DA out and rough that with 80 grit on the DA. That's why it's got the guy coat on it. Just take all the really heavy stuff off and get it. Get the resin out of it, get it dry, then I'll switch to handy pads. think we've got somewhere close there. I've got some sort of pinholes and roughness along this edge. And rather than trying to file the edge back to hide them, I'm going to build them up because they are actually holes. So I'm just going to tape down here. I just put a very slight, take the back side of it as well, and a very slight skim of bog in there. And these are high spots stopping me getting to this, so I've just tapped those down. I just want to skim in those as well. There was something else somewhere, just up here as well. Just up here. A couple of little divots. Well, it's going dark now. That's how long I've been on it. I've done this door gap now 3-4 times. Still not really happy with this triangle here, this 3-way line. We'll put some primer on it and see what happens. Prime that up to epoxy primer, high build, and yeah. So before I do that, we're going to stick the other 2 doors on, and then we'll put the masking, the cover them up again, cover the whole car up, spray this area, and then we'll probably call it a day. Get on it fresh and early in the morning. Line up. I might do a bit of lining on the 2 doors tonight. We'll see. Feel like having a couple of beers. But yeah, morning is blocking it out, getting it all sanded to 400. There we have 2 more doors on the car. They're just hanging on there. I haven't put the latches in. Austin's put the catch in that side, but I haven't put the latch on there. And I think the same on here. Yep. So I'll do that tomorrow. I am absolutely pooped today. I'm getting up early and just knocking out the orders on the day job. Really set me up today. So there is a bit of a witness mark here, which I don't like. And I just put far too much primer on it. It's not actually run, but it's thick. So I'll give that about 15 minutes to flash, and we'll put some more on there. But I've got a sneaking suspicion that might not blend out. That might need a little bit, because that's metal. That probably want a tiny swipe of filler going up from it. But other than that, I don't think it looks too bad. The radius here isn't quite as round as it should be at the moment, but we'll do that. We'll do that later. We'll do that when we do the whole side of the car. So that's it for me. Like, subscribe, comments, questions. I'm going. Good night. See you tomorrow. Bye.